Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hercule Poirot, the first cases. So, we've been working on the second case. Wait a sec. And we've talked to everybody already, and I think we've figured out a few things already. But right now, I'm not sure what we're supposed to do. Oh, there's a link to make. What? Cassandra is dismissive for forbidden areas. Cassandra was quick to stop the conversation going any further after I mentioned such rooms. Why is Cassandra so guarded about such areas? Staff knows family is hiding something. That must be linked.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
There is no doubt that there must be a family secret. Can Forbidden House areas hold the answer? There is something that does not feel right about the staff dismissal. The contradicting stories of why only make me question its virility. Virility? Wait, what? Virility? That's not right, is it? Further, the contradicting stories of why only makes me question its veracity. Further, validity. I don't know. Objective complete. Okay. I only need to investigate the blackmail now. But what am I supposed to do? There's no indication. Maybe I should talk to the staff. Archie, you have something to tell me, Archie.
What can I do for you?
The smell from the kitchen is becoming almost too much to bear.
Ah, perfect timing. I was about to ask that everyone move through to the dining room.
Okay.
Très bien.
Très bien.
Yes, Maman. Perhaps Turkey. I would love to see my beloved's homeland.
I'm sure we will decide on somewhere. Perhaps where we are both yet to have visited.
It was my crowning achievement.
I am not so sure you workers would agree.
Are you sure? I've definitely seen your face somewhere before.
I do not believe there is another that resembles these features, or brains, at least.
I've always liked the idea of sailing the West Indies.
In that heat? With your complexion?
Okay, but you lived in the capital at one time.
Oui, mademoiselle. I spent much of my working life there.
Maybe sleeping off half a bottle of whiskey.
Let us not be so blasé with our opinions, brother.
If you ask me.
I don't believe anyone did.
You're that officer! The shootout on the rooftop! Your face was all over our front page!
It seems it is not only I that possesses great skills of deduction. You...
Please, come quick! The Major has been murdered in his study!
Wait, what?
Messieurs et Mesdames, I am Detective Hercule Poirot of the Belgian Police Force. I ask that you all remain calm and in your seats. I shall begin my investigation immediately. Monsieur Sterling, please, lead the way.
Why was he not in the dining room? The Major, Chapter 3. A noticeable, almost sinister chill can be felt upon entering. Well, obviously the window is open.
This is Mr. Hagen's study, Detective. Would you like me to stay?
I understand if you are not comfortable with such a scene.
Don't you worry, Detective. I've seen much worse in my years.
We've got dead people all the time over here.
I am thankful to have someone of your resilience by my side.
I just can't believe someone could have killed him in cold blood. Is that what you think happened?
I admire your faith in your fellow man, but you will be surprised what someone will do when they feel there is no other option.
Did any member of the staff have access to this office?
Mr. Hagen does not allow any staff into the study, and they were all present in the staff quarters, or part of the dinner service.
And everyone was accounted for?
Everyone. It is my business to know all my staff's whereabouts.
Tell me about a phone call the Major received earlier.
Phone call? Yeah. It was one of his business associates.
Do you know what associate?
He didn't say. I think he was French. The accent still confuses me sometimes.
What?
And did the Major sound any different to you? Panicked, anxious, anything out of the ordinary?
Not that I noticed. I think he was embarrassed about ending up on the floor after Master Gideon's one punch. I would be.
Your help and discretion in this matter are greatly appreciated.
Wait a sec. Okay. Okay, I need to examine the scene of the crime. The Major's corpse.
Huh.
What's that? He's been stabbed. A single stab wound. I would expect to see a number of puncture wounds if the culprit had come here with the intention of murder. Bruises. A result of the confrontation with Monsieur Demire. Although only one punch was thrown, there is substantial bruising to his face. Must use all my detective skill and experience here. Besides the stab wound, there's little to go on from his body. New mind map unlocked. I was brought here to find the blackmailer, but discovering the truth behind the Major's death must take precedence. The Major's corpse, purple bruises on face, single stab wound. Okay. Evidence of a single fatal attack. What is most likely to have inflicted this damage? Question mark. Safe. A bulky safe. Made with security in mind. It's locked tight, but a box of valuables sits on top. Dent in plaster. Surprising that it has been left visible. Surely it would be a quick and easy fix. Also, the trophy is all crooked. Letter. A note is stuffed down the side of the seat. You do not know me, but I know you and your past very well. Years have passed, and your actions remain hidden to the world. Action that would shame even the evilest of men. The details so heinous, to include them would surely bring a tear to my eye. Now is the time for the truth to be revealed to all. While not one man is to blame for the final outcome, it was you that brought about the final piece to the puzzle, the one that no one else would. If you wish to remain a free man, fill a brown paper parcel with some 5,000 francs, addressed to Monsieur Dupont du Barbier and Sons, cobbler, before closing this coming Wednesday. While there is time to consider your next move, I would not ponder on it for too long. When the world knows of your crimes, they will surely not ponder long on your punishment. Another blackmail letter, written in a similar manner to the one addressed to Mademoiselle Angeline. Could the Major be hiding a secret of his own? Or is he, in fact, the author of the letters. That would be weird to send himself a letter. Or maybe to a wallet.
Oh.
Does not look as though anything is obviously missing from it. Can we close the window? The snow continues to billow in. Why this window has been left open, I can't fathom. What's that? Why can I not look at that? Is it a matchbox? Ice bucket. Odd to have a bucket this size for such a minute amount of water. Hey, there's a pool of blood. What could have caused such a large damp patch on the floor? Some ice, maybe? There's nothing else. It's kind of weird. Okay, so we have the wallet, a large check, and a sum of money. There's carpet. I fear this carpet may be ruined from the bloodstain. Damp floor. What could have caused such a large damp patch on the floor? Well, because it's a stab wound, of course.
I must take a different approach if I am to...
Remaining ice cubes. A few cubes remain. The last remains of what was presumably full of ice. Okay, so that's the damp floor.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of...
Someone has knocked over the bucket and then repositioned it. Someone besides the Major? Bucket was overturned. Second floor window. Okay, only a madman would even consider entering or exiting a window of this height. Open window. Falling snow. Heavy snow is entering through the open window, filling the room. Safe. A bulky safe with security in mind. Locked tight. No one is getting in here without a combination. Jewelry box. Despite being atop the safe, the contents are untouched. Why it's not locked away, I do not know. There's a dent in the plaster. Unrepaired. Surely this should have been easy enough to repair. Was it recent? There are two links. Okay, so unrepaired dent in plaster. Bucket was overturned.
Magnifique.
There are signs that something occurred in the study between the Major and an unknown fugitive. Evidence of a fight. There are signs. Okay. Jewelry box. Sum of money. I would link those two.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
The obvious items of value have not been taken. Why would the killer not take a reward? Well, if they didn't want any money, maybe. Valuables not taken. Okay, there's another link. So link of that to something else. Huh. What would that be linked to? To the locked safe? No. I don't know.
Order and method. That is the way to solve the problem.
Evidence of a fight and single stab wound?
Come, my little grey cells.
What about the other one? Investigate the blackmail. There's a safe. What else? Blackmail letter. Okay, there's nothing else here. Wait a second. Okay. What link do we have to make? I'm not sure. Variables haven't been taken. Only a madman would even consider taking a window of this height. Large check. From Monsieur Da Silva Company to the Major of Security Consulting. Rather pricey at that. From Monsieur Da Silva's Company to the Major for Security Consulting. I need to make that link. Aggressive looking bruise on his cheek where Gideon has struck him. Is this linked to that? That would be weird.
What a revelation!
What? If someone had gone through the lengths of scaling the wall, this surely would have taken some valuables. What? No! That's not logical. Not a simple burglary. Yeah. No shit, Sherlock. Can confirm that the window was not the intruder's point of entry. Careless of me not to check the door first upon arrival. Door to the Major's bedroom.
Aha.
The door shows no sign of forced entry or tampering. Could they just have knocked and been allowed to enter? The door to the Major's bedroom. Logical entry point. Okay. Did the killer simply enter through the door? I think it's linked to a single stab wound.
I
No?
must act on thought and...
To the fight?
Another success.
Evidence shows that a fight of sort broke out some time after the killer entered the room, unobstructed. The door from the bedroom to the study was how the perpetrator entered the room, but what I still do not know is, were they invited in or did they slip in unknown? Dr. Archibald.
Anything I can do to help, Detective?
Has anyone else entered this room this evening?
Rehana brought him some ice for his cheek earlier.
Brought him some ice.
And when was that?
When he returned from his cigar outside, he asked for something to be brought upstairs to ease the swelling of his face. He would normally smoke only in here. Lady Vandenbosch doesn't like the smell of his cigars in the public rooms.
I understand. Madame continues to rule her home how she sees fit, and it is her prerogative.
Your help and discretion in this matter are greatly appreciated.
Now I know that the Major wasn't alone. It is time to search the study further in hopes of finding a clue as to who was with him. A new mind map unlocked. The scene of the crime has been investigated, but it does not show a straightforward series of events. The circumstances around the Major's cigar is one such avenue that requires further exploration. The Major's study. Killer entry to the room was unobstructed. The ice bucket was overturned. Okay, look at that. The Major's jacket. A scruffy-looking jacket is hanging above the coat rack. The Major's cupboard is in the pocket. Ashtray. A reasonably full ashtray. I would have expected him to at least clean this out. What's that? Towel. A discarded towel, folded and unused. A matchbox. No matches remain. Desk. A rather organized desk containing what looks like important documents. Poker stand. A normal looking poker stand. Nothing appears out of the ordinary. Fireplace. It's incredibly dirty. The logs are old and covered in dust. That's all. Okay. So what do we have? The Major study. Ashtray. Half-smoked cigar. Surely the Major would not let a good cigar go to waste. Why didn't he finish it? Well used. The Major's money is obviously spent elsewhere. Ring of dust. There is a rather thick layer of dust surrounding the ashtray. Will I find other evidence of neglect? Fireplace. Moldy logs. Looking at the condition of these logs, they probably haven't been replaced for a very long time. Sharp. The poker stand. Okay. A normal looking poker stand. Nothing appears out of the ordinary. A poker. A gas and fire poker. What one would expect to find beside a fire. The point is sharp, but it is not the most practical weapon to inflict the Major's wound. Clean. No sign of being used recently. To stoke a fire, or anything else. Why is the poker so suspiciously clean? Oh. Ooh. Missing knife. This cupboard has one purpose, and that purpose is missing. Okay, the Major's cupboard. It is empty. There should be at least a decorative knife, or what is the use of this? It's a knife holster. It's old and worn. This jacket has seen better days. Desk. Letter opener. This point does not look sharp to tear paper, let alone puncture skin. It's very tidy. It is remarkably tidy. Although all his recent documents are practically stored at the back, was the room cleaned by someone other than himself? Matchbox. No matches remain. It is empty. No matches remain. What else could the Major have used to light his cigars? So we have to link stuff. Okay. The missing knife and the stab wound.
I should not be surprised by my own skills.
The Major's knife is missing, and his body lies with a stab wound. It could very well be the murder weapon. Okay, what else do we have? The poker is clean and the desk is tidy.
Is
No.
there something
Hercule's entry to the room was unobstructed. Half-smoked cigar. The ring of dust around the ashtray is linked to the moldy logs.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
I would have expected a major to keep his belongings in a much tidier fashion. A room not cleaned. Talk to Archie. Okay. There's one more link to be made. Is the clean poker and the bucket are linked? I don't know.
I cannot see the logic in
No.
this.
It's very tidy. Letter opener. No. Maybe it's a poker and the stab wound? I don't know.
This will not get me
No.
any closer to my goal.
I'm going to talk to Archie.
Anything I can do to help, Detective?
For a house that has such high standards, there's a noticeable lack of care taken in here.
As I said, Mr. Hagen did not allow the staff in here alone, besides me. He was very clear on that.
Have the staff ever given him reason to not trust them?
Nothing has ever been brought to my attention, but he was very clear no one was to be in here without his permission.
Wait a sec. Okay.
I suppose it is not unreasonable. I would have thought with his military past he would have kept it immaculate, with not a speck of dust or hair out of place. But the fireplace, for instance, says otherwise.
I haven't seen it lit since he has been with us, even in the colder months. It's been in this state for some time.
Okay.
Your help and discretion in this matter are greatly appreciated.
Okay, so what did we learn? The fireplace is unused. Okay. That's all. So that's why the poker is clean.
This will not
No?
get me any closer to my...
The bucket. Wait, what? Why is this linked?
Come,
Oh,
my
it is
little
not.
grey cells. What a revelation!
There are no items that could start a fire or light a cigar. No fire source. Okay, so the very tidy desk and the bucket overturned are linked.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
This crime scene has been tampered with. The killer clearly had enough time to cover the tracks. Oh. This is linked to the clean poker.
Another success.
There is currently no way to rule out the poker being the murder weapon. Poker was cleaned. Okay, so what do I do now? Do I get out? I can't get out. Burnt what?
Oh,
It's quite severe. Such a shame to see such a beautiful made carpet ruined. Beautifully made carpet. How didn't see that before? Burnt carpet. Burn mark. I'm surprised the burn this size has not been tended to. On closer inspection, it appears recent. I would link that to the half-smoked cigar.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally...
The Major was smoking recently, unsurprisingly, and dropped his cigar. What could have lit the cigar? Evidence of smoking. The Major was smoking recently. There's no fire source.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
There remains no means to light his cigar. Someone must have lit it for him. Someone he trusted. But who? Someone lit the cigar. And no forced entry.
Magnifique.
Someone lit his cigar for him and attacked him when he least expected it. Who could have been so ruthless? Certainly not Gideon. The Major knew his killer. What would that be linked to? I don't know. The Major knew his killer. This link to crime scene was tampered with? Is this it? I don't know, I'm not sure.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
They lit the Major's cigar, and following the brutal act of murder took the time to clean the scene. They were not in a hurry and could still be in the house. How could they remain so calm? The murder weapons remains a mystery. The killer, whose identity is still to be uncovered, must still reside in this house. Come, my little grey cells, let us solve this mystery. New mind map unlocked. I was not expecting to have a murder case on my hands when I arrived, but this will merely be another test for the great detective Poirot. Blackmail letter. Not simple burglary. Okay. Oh, so okay, so they reorganized everything. Sorry. There's no link to be made here. No?
Anything I can do to help, Detective?
I believe I have collected all the necessary information and evidence. I would now like to inspect his adjoining bedroom.
As you wish.
It is clear the reason for entering the Major's study was not to make haste. With his valuables, what I must understand is if the intent for murder was there. The study has been manipulated following the Major's death, meaning they had time to return to the scene and attempt to cover the tracks. The perpetrator entered through the bedroom. Perhaps there is something they failed to clean up behind them that can make sense of all this. I should review what clues the study yielded before I continue. Wait, what? New mind map unlocked. If the killer still resides in the house, I must approach everyone with not only caution but suspicion. The Major study. Okay. Wait, no. There's Archie. Okay. Letter. Another letter addressed to the Major. It appears he has someone looking out for his business concerns with the worker strike. Felix, I understand that there are a number of business concerns for you in the situation that has arisen within the factories, but I offer this piece of advice. Step back. Monsieur Baker's efforts with the union have finally opened the workers' eyes, and they seek, nay, demand, the fair treatment they deserved for so long. The fuel for the fire has already been laid, and the match is ready to be struck. You do not want to be near those flames when they ignite. I know you were once a good, honorable man. I pray that that is still true today. Oh, I must review the information I've gathered from each case today. There may be something that will help reveal the identity of the letter's author. Demanding letter. Hugo's possessive work is mentioned. The author details how Hugo's union work is opening the workers' eyes to their mistreatment. Who's supposed to be a union besides Hugo? The documents seem to warn the Major about the upcoming strike. Gideon, Tkaya, Hugo, Ernesto, Margot, Gideon is a supporter of the Union. That's linked.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
The only other Union supporter I know that is passionate enough to write such a letter, Monsieur Gideon. Written by Gideon? Is he sure about that? It's weird. Demanding letter. Okay. What else do we have? Alcohol. Drinks globe. I wonder how many travel expeditions have been planned while enjoying the content of the globe. Note. A rather flirting letter has been penned addressed to Major F. Hagen. Dear Major F. Hagen, I did not think I would ever find myself writing a letter such as this, but under the current circumstances, I see no other option. Baron van den Bosch and I have been friends for many years, for more years than I care to say. That is why I can no longer sit back and allow your bullying to continue. I am well aware of the companionship you have offered to my good friends over the years. It has been most generous, and without it, I care not to think what would have happened to her, but that does not give you the opportunity to act in such a foul and boorish manner. The day the Viscount passed, I promised that I would protect both Cassandra and Angeline, and it is a promise I will keep. You were once a major in the British Armed Forces, but your actions have mirrored that of drunken fools who hold no place in our society, let alone Madame's house. Please do not bother yourself with a response. There is not a question that requires an answer, only a hope. Only a hope that you see your errors and adjust them accordingly. I wonder if the errors are supposed to be part of the text or not. The author speaks of bullying, and although no specifics are noted, any form of that treatment towards a woman is not acceptable. Even if it's not a woman, it's not acceptable. Mounted animal head. I'm not sure how I would fare coming face to face. Oh, okay. It's the same as in the... My god! We can't read! Hunting gear. This could be the weapon that brought down some of the impressive animals that now fill the walls. And the floors. Drawer. It seems Madame Van den Bosch's heart is a trophy worth fighting over. Major Hagen, I hope you will excuse my bluntness in plain speaking, but there is a matter regarding Madame Van den Bosch that requires not only our attention, but a level of understanding and respect between us both. I am fully aware of the help that you have offered to not only Madame, but her family and household. I am also aware that you know of the assistance that I have given to Madame and the Viscount before her. We are friends and business partners, and I felt it my duty to continue to give aid and keep the Van den Bosch name at the standing that it has always been. Having said that, it is not always as simple to keep business and personal matters separate, and this is how I find myself today. Cassandra and I share a bond that one does not experience often in their lifetime. No doubt you have felt similar, but what may be lost to one man is love to another. While I respect you for your efforts in the war and the generosity you have shown Madame, I must request you step back from what you consider to be your duties at the house and allow for Madame to make her choice. The choice that I believe is obvious to all parties. I trust this correspondence remain for your eyes only, and a gentleman's agreement is enough to guarantee our arrangement. Wait, what? Oh, it's the... okay. It is a rather bold move to challenge the Major to have, especially with his position at the house. Window. The phone is so hazardous to be... okay, it's just always the same phrase. Okay, what do we have? Threatening letter. Close to Cassandra. Major bullied the Major. It's Margot, of course.
What a revelation!
Margot was quick to speak of her protection over Cassandra. She must take this role very seriously. Written by Margot. Curious letter. Love for Cassandra mentioned. Mention of helping the family. It's Ernesto. Of course.
Another success.
If there is something between Ernesto and Madame Van den Bosch, Archibald will surely know of it. Possibly written by Ernesto. What are those people who do not sign the letters? Curious letter, threatening letter. Okay. Let's speak to Archie.
Certainly. What do you need?
What do you know of the Major's relationship with the guests?
The male guests, I believe, he knows in a business capacity, but I'm afraid that's all I know. I will add, though, he has not always been the easiest man to get along with.
Ooh.
You are talking from personal experience of working for him.
I am head butler to the Van den Bosch family in their home. He has made himself comfortable, but to me he still remained a guest.
Do you know much of the Major's time in the army?
There's not much I couldn't tell you. As soon as he found out my father was in the army, his stories never stopped.
I am sure an officer of his rank must have many a tale.
A tale is a fitting description. Not so much a pinch of salt, more like a bag is needed listening to them.
What can you tell me about Monsieur da Silva, the Major and Madame Van den Bosch?
You've lost me, detective?
I struggle to believe they were both helping her out of the kindness of their hearts. Could they have been fighting for the Madame's affection?
Suddenly he says Madame et Maman.
Ah, that didn't take you long to spot.
Mr. Sterling's lack of a real response give me all the answer I require.
Your help and discretion in this matter are greatly appreciated.
What do we have? Cassandra has multiple admirers. The Major fabricated his accomplishments. The Major is generally disliked. Okay. There's one link to be made. The love of Cassandra and Cassandra has multiple admirer, maybe?
Some would say
Okay.
a lucky guess.
Now I know of Ernesto's feelings towards Cassandra. He must be the one behind the letter.
Magnifique.
It seems the guests were not found at the Major. Written by Ernesto. Wait a sec. Okay, what could this be linked to? Written by Ernesto. Ernesto supports the family? Is this linked?
Order and method. That is...
Multiple guests attends Major. Oh. The killer may be in the building.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of det...
It's highly possible one of the guests is behind the murder. This warrants immediate investigation. Oh my god. Based on the evidence seen in the Major study and bedroom, as well as what I have learned from speaking with the guests, Monsieur da Silva, Comtesse de Vos, and Monsieur de Mere were on concern and further investigation. De Mere? I don't think he did, but okay.
Certainly. What do you need?
There's nothing further for me to investigate in here. Would you kindly gather the guests for me?
As you wish, Detective.
It seems there is no simple explanation for what happened here. The Major's popularity among the guests does not seem very high. There are still many questions that must be asked. Huh. I'd say, chapter 4, the interrogations. I'd say, to avoid being murdered, maybe avoid being taken to everyone.
Detective. I informed them of what has happened, but divulged no details.
There goes my opportunity to catch one of them off guard. No matter, I have more than one weapon in my armory.
I am most grateful. Madame Vandenbosch is here also?
She's in her room with Miss Angeline. It may be better to speak with them privately tomorrow.
Oui, merci. I shall come find you again once my questioning is complete.
The guests' alibis are my priority. Once I can confirm their whereabouts this evening, I can understand who had an opportunity. Wait a sec. Okay, I have my lead suspects from the evidence at the scene of the crime. Perhaps those will change after speaking with them all. Jackie. Okay. Wait, what more is there? Guest may be involved. Okay. Let's start with that.
I'm afraid our conversation is of a more formal nature this time.
So the Major was murdered?
It appears so.
You can't think that I did it, though.
I will be questioning everyone over the course of the evening, and your cooperation will certainly speed up that process.
Besides speaking with me, tell me about your movements before dinner.
I was here in the salon, minding my own business, enjoying my own company.
Minding your business from whom?
Comtesse, what's her name, and my brother. Apart from wanting to congratulate him for a great right hook, there was nothing I had to say to him.
Comtesse de Vos? And they will both confirm you were here?
If she had taken a moment to notice anything besides herself, she will tell you I was here the whole time.
Okay.
I think that is all for now. Merci for your time.
So Zach expressed disdain for Margot. Zach was in the salon. Zach saw Gideon and Margot. Okay. Hugo.
Bonsoir, Monsieur Beckers. Merci for speaking with me.
Monsieur Poirot, or should it be Detective Poirot now?
Well, technically it's always been Detective Poirot, but okay.
Detective Poirot is perfect. Merci. I would like to begin with a few questions.
Go right ahead, Detective Poirot.
Can you tell me where you were prior to dinner?
I took great pleasure in seeing the Major's ego as well as his face take a bruising. And then I made my way to the library.
Well, you spoke with Mademoiselle Conrad.
And yourself? Yes.
We were the only two that you spoke with.
One of the servants bought me a drink and I was telling her about the benefits of joining a union. She didn't understand what it truly meant to be a part of something. Something bigger than just her. I was trying to explain to her how...
Monsieur.
Oh, yes, it was just the two of you and the servant.
Strange that he does not seem to recall seeing Monsieur da Silva in the library.
And you are sure there was no one else present?
I'm not sure what you're getting at, Detective. You were there.
Okay.
Merci, Monsieur Beckers. It has been a most enlightening conversation.
Oh, Hugo spoke with Jackie and myself. Hugo was in the library, okay. Ernesto.
Monsieur de Silva, merci for obliging me.
A detective comes to a party and a dead body shows up. Coincidental, don't you think?
Are you saying it's because it's my fault?
A man's death is not a matter to joke on, monsieur.
Who said anything about a joke? I am saying what I see.
Okay.
Then perhaps you can tell me what it was you saw this evening.
Where were you prior to dinner?
Following whatever that was in the hall, I moved to the library.
Is there anyone that can confirm that?
Miss Conrad and Beckers were in there, arguing about something. The books held my interest far more than their conversation.
You did not speak with them until dinner was served?
I had no reason to get involved with their little spat. It was clear they didn't want me to hear, and that suited me just fine.
Okay.
Merci for your cooperation.
Argument between Hugo and Jackie. Ernesto was in library. Okay.
Monsieur Demir, I am sorry your celebrations have taken a rather dark turn.
As am I, Detective. I hope we will be able to bring this investigation to an end post-haste.
With your cooperation, I will do my very best.
Besides your time in the hall, where were you before we were summoned to the dining room?
I was here in the salon. I thought I would have a moment of peace to calm myself, but the Comtesse and my brother followed behind.
Did they inquire into the reasons behind the fight in the hall?
I think they both saw it as some light entertainment, more than anything else.
The Comtesse does not strike me as one to enjoy violence.
And not so much violence, but karma for the Major, perhaps. You did not hear how he spoke to my wife-to-be. She is still rather upset about the whole thing.
If you would be so kind as to stay here, I may require your help further.
Oh, there's one link to be made. Gideon saw Margot and Zachariah. Gideon in salon. Angelique seemed upset about their dedication. Zachariah saw Gideon and Margot. Is this linked?
Magnifique.
Okay, it is. They confirm each other's appearance in the salon. They confirmed. Okay.
Countess, I am sorry our next conversation must be under such formal circumstances.
It is not the first time Felix has ruined a good party.
Oh my gosh, she really didn't like him.
The current state of tonight's celebrations is the least of my priorities, Countess.
Well, it's at the top of mine, detective. I did not come here for a wake.
Perhaps then we should proceed with my questions and you can get back to celebrating.
Okay.
It would be my pleasure, chérie.
Oh, that's the translation. Darling. We spoke earlier. Did you remain here in the salon until dinner was served?
I did. I thought by staying in one place, it would be easy for the staff to bring me my drinks. How wrong I was.
And who else was present in here?
The handsome groom-to-be and his brother, although Zachariah, is it, made a rather sharp exit at one stage.
Did he say where he was going?
He barely said 2 words to either of us. I think he was more concerned with his drink.
Another to notice Monsieur Demire's drinking. And yet, no one seems concerned.
Merci, Countess. If I have any further questions, I shall be sure to come and find you.
Gideon was present. Zachariah went missing. Margot was in the salon. Okay. Gideon was present.
Some would say a lucky guess.
Margot and Gideon confirm each other's appearance in the salon. Margot and Gideon confirms each other's alibi. Zachariah went missing. This must be linked to... I don't know. Do this? Or this? Maybe this?
I must take a
No.
different approach if I... I cannot see the logic in this.
Okay, I went missing. This link to that?
Is there something...
No? What? Really?
Another success. I never...
Margot claims Zachariah stepped out of the room, but Gideon did not mention it. Was his missing time accounted for? Talk to Zach. Okay. Well, we're going to talk to the other persons before. Jackie.
Mademoiselle Conrad, I am sure you understand the delicate nature of the situation.
I knew I had seen your face before. You were just an officer when that story hit the paper.
You have a très bon memory, mademoiselle.
Très bien.
That was a long time ago.
You can't escape the past, especially when you go and do something like that.
That is very true, but one can learn from it and create a better future.
But not a better accent, apparently.
What would you say to an
Please, mademoiselle. Catching the Major's killer is my sole concern right now. Now, if you would be so kind, I have some questions for you.
Tell me about your evening since your arrival.
I arrived, unpacked my bags in my room, and made it downstairs just in time to see the Major take a right hook from Gideon. And then I went to check out the library.
And you were joined by Monsieur Beckers.
And Ernesto, or Monsieur de Silver, as you say.
Monsieur
But after he
de
ignored
Silver.
my attempt at pleasantries, I left him to his book in the corner.
And your conversation with Monsieur Beckers that I interrupted.
You are a persistent one, aren't you? Makes sense now I know who you really are. You'll just have to wait and read about it in the paper like everyone else.
Mademoiselle Conrad still remains tight-lipped about her discussion with Mr. Becker. But a hint at reading about it in the newspaper makes me believe it may be of a much grander nature than I expected.
You have been most helpful. I request you do not go too far. Merci.
Okay, so we have Jackie was talking to Hugo. Jackie was in the library. And Nesta was lurking in the library. Okay. Spoke with Jackie and myself.
What a revelation!
Jackie and Hugo confirms each other's appearance in the library. Okay. Argument between Hugo and Jackie. Ernesto was lurking. Wait, what?
I must act on
Is this the other? Is this one then?
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
They confirm each other's appearance in the library. Jackie and Ernesto confirm each other's alibi. Is this linked to that?
This will not get me any closer
to that?
Come, my little grey cell.
No. This and that?
Is there something?
What? How is this linked? Oh, this makes no sense.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Hugo felt to mention seeing Ernesto in the library. Hugo doesn't mention Ernesto. Talk to Hugo, okay.
Whatever you require, Detective.
Your story of tonight's events.
I know you are probably used to dealing with criminals, but not everyone is trying to hide something.
I hope for your sake that you do not hide anything from me.
What is it you think I'm hiding?
I struggle to believe you did not know of Monsieur da Silva's presence in the library.
Is that what this is about? I saw him hiding in the corner, pretending to read. I'd be surprised if he even could. I did not speak to him, and he certainly didn't make any attempt to speak with me.
No lip sync on this phrase? Oh yeah, he was eavesdropping.
Monsieur Demire invited you here to speak with him. You didn't see that as a fitting time too?
I was speaking with Jacqueline, and quite frankly, I was in no mood to be dealing with that man.
Monsieur Beckers is courageous and full of vigor in his planning, but his execution doesn't share such confidence.
Merci, Monsieur Beckers. It has been a most enlightening conversation.
Not sure what that means. Hugo saw Ernesto briefly. Okay, so that's linked to this.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
Hugo and Ernesto now confirm each other's appearance in the library.
Things are beginning to become clear.
Hugo, Ernesto and Jackie support each other's version of events. Someone else must be responsible, surely. Hugo, Ernesto and Jackie confirm each other's alibis. Okay. Need to talk to Zach now.
I'm an open book, Poirot.
Your vision of events.
I told you already. I was here in the salon.
And you did not leave even once.
Well, I had to use the bathroom. I didn't realize I had to update you every time nature called.
You may keep your calls of nature to yourself, merci. And then you returned to the salon?
If you don't believe me, ask Archibald. He saw me on his way up to the study.
Okay.
I think that is all for now. Merci for your time.
Archie. Zacchaeus saw Archibald while in the Great Hall. He says he can cover his absence. Talk to Archie. Okay.
Can you confirm seeing Monsieur Demire in the hall this evening?
Oh, that's directly that. Okay.
Zachariah, yes. I was on my way with a bottle of whiskey to the Major. He shouted a rather ignorable greeting to me and asked for directions to the bathroom.
I presume you showed him the way?
Aye, detective. I showed him to the hall bathroom. I didn't think it was wise to attempt the stairs, not in that state.
Okay. Zacchaeus' absence covered by Archibald. Okay. Is this linked to that? The guy went missing?
I must act on thought.
The guy was briefly missing then.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a
Archibald confirmed Zacchaeus' movement out of the salon, however brief.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Gideon, Zachariah, and Margot, who are all in the salon at least for some time altogether. Surely someone else is to blame? Even with some minute differences in stories, the guests are all confirming each other's alibis. It is not the outcome I was expecting, or perhaps hoping for. Gideon, Zach, and Margot's alibis, it's all confirm each other's. Okay. So what now? Come, my little Gressels, let us solve this mystery. New mind map unlocked. That did not yield the result I desired. Perhaps a more direct approach, considering the potential motives, will reveal more. Wait, what? I have to speak to everybody again? Why are we ignoring the fact that Archie was getting a bottle to the study? That's weird.
I'm an open book, Poirot.
Did you speak with the Major this evening?
Why would I? I've got nothing to say to him, except maybe to keep his hands off what is ours.
What is yours that he could want?
Money, of course. Why do you think he has been suckling at the Van den Bosch teat for so long? He's bled them dry, and now they will all do the same to our money.
What?
Our?
My father's, Gideon's, it's all the same.
I get the sense you and Monsieur Gideon are not the closest.
When you have not been on level playing fields for years, it's hard to have a fair game.
I am afraid I do not quite understand.
If we're playing golf, he has a full set of clubs and a caddy in the form of my father, and I have the old split putter. Make sense now?
Not really.
Perfectly.
Oh, perfectly, sorry. There's certainly some hostility towards his brother. This runs much deeper than brotherly rivalry.
I think that is all for now. Merci for your time.
Okay. Zach resents Gideon. Okay.
Whatever you require, detective.
How do you know the victim?
I know that I don't think, or didn't think, a great deal of him. I'm just sorry I didn't get the chance to tell him what I thought.
The man has recently been murdered.
So what?
Someone must stand up to men like him, with their crooked dealings and lack of, well, any compassion at all.
Another rousing speech, monsieur.
It's the truth. If you knew what I know, maybe he wouldn't be dead, but behind bars instead.
Your connection to the family is through Monsieur Demir, n'est-ce pas? N'est-il pas?
Yes, Gideon invited me. If you will recall from our previous conversation, we have been working together and he thought now would be a good time to discuss matters.
To discuss business at the celebration of his engagement?
That's weird.
We're all here, so what better time?
What?
He thought Da Silva might even let his guard down if he was in a more jubilant mood. It would be wise to not continue to ignore us any longer.
Okay. What? That's super weird.
And what business was it that was so urgent?
We're trying to resolve the worker strikes. It has gone on long enough. Now is the time for him to listen to our demands so we can put an end to it all. Put the violence and upset behind us.
You seem to hold certain level of, shall we say, anger towards the Major.
Anger, yes, but that's all. I wouldn't kill a man.
You must see why this leads me to have suspicions.
You can't honestly think I did it. I am a man of peace. I make changes with words, not with violence.
I barely mentions the Major, and Monsieur Beckers became rather flustered and defensive. Well, he's being accused of murder, so... So there are plans for a negotiation with Monsieur Da Silva?
I am fighting for the basic rights of our workers, nothing more. If he can't see that, he is a lesser man than I already thought.
And where does Monsieur Gédéon fit into the negotiations? And his brother?
His brother? I didn't even know he had a brother until I arrived here. Gideon certainly hasn't talked much about him. I get the sense there's not much love lost between them.
When was the last time you saw the Major?
Last I saw, he was outside having a cigar.
Oui, I spoke with him myself, but that was some time ago.
He does love a cigar. You'd have to stand out in those conditions. I could barely see him through the snow.
Merci, Monsieur Beckers. It has been a most enlightening conversation.
Okay, what do we have? Hugo has dirt on the Major. Gideon is trying to start negotiations. Hugo claims to have calmed down. And I need to talk to Zach. Okay. Again.
I'm an open book, Poirot.
Your relationship with your brother, it seems everyone has an opinion.
That doesn't surprise me, and yet no one actually asks.
I am asking now.
I should have expected that, shouldn't I? What is there to say? We used to be close, but not so much anymore.
I would find it very helpful if you could at least elaborate on your relationship.
He went to school, got an education, and was the apple of our father's eye. I went to war. See the difference now.
Monsieur has again mentioned his time in the war. While I do not mean to belittle his effort for his country, it seems as though he has not been able to leave that life behind on the battlefield. Well, it can be difficult, I would say.
I think that is all for now. Merci for your time.
Okay, so what do we have? Nothing. Okay.
More questions? I suppose so.
Can you tell me more about your relationship with the deceased?
Felix, I didn't know him that well. We spoke a handful of times. I met him through Cassandra. I thought him to be rather pompous.
But you remained polite, as any gentleman would.
Of course.
The negative opinion of the Major is rather ubiquitous. I am yet to meet someone with a particularly positive view of him. So why don't you tell me more about your relationship with Madame Van den Bosch?
What is there to say? She's a remarkable woman, and I admire her.
It sounds as though you hold her in the highest regard.
And why shouldn't I? Women these days could take a leaf out of her book on how to present themselves.
You said you had talked with the Major a few times. About what exactly?
He had approached me about doing some business together. I like to know who I'm getting into bed with first.
Okay. He wants to have dinner first.
And you both went ahead with your business venture.
Not so much a business venture, more security related. But there is no need to discuss that any further.
What?
Is there something you wish to remain hidden about your partnership, monsieur?
It was far from a partnership. I hired him to run security at my factories. If the workers were going to get violent, I wanted to make sure I was ready to protect my
Sorry. So both you and the Major have been very sportive, Madame Van den Bosch, over the years, n'est-ce pas?
That is correct.
And the reason for your support was always of a purely platonic nature.
Of course.
If you're trying to insinuate that I was expecting something in return, you can remove your head from the gutter.
I meant no offense. I'm only trying to understand the dynamic of your relationship.
I may need to approach this in a different manner. Perhaps I should speak with the Countess on this.
Merci for your cooperation.
Okay, so the Major is involved in the worker strike, and Nestor has business connections with the family. He should talk to Jackie, and Nestor denies loving Cassandra, to talk to Margot, and Nestor is fond of Cassandra.
No trouble at all. How can I help?
With the joining of your two families, and the Major being around so much, I assume you knew him well.
I knew of him more than actually knowing him myself. In the past, he made his feelings towards my brother and I quite clear.
And that was not in a positive way.
I certainly wouldn't call trying to get Angeline to postpone the engagement positive.
I spoke with your brother earlier. He was certainly enjoying himself.
What do you mean?
I do not mean to pry, only I imagine the whole room was aware of his celebrating with a bottle.
You must be mistaken. Neither my brother nor I drink.
I do not know how he could not have noticed the state his brother was in. Perhaps one does not see what one does not want to believe. So how is your relationship with your brother?
We aren't the closest. But what brothers are?
I don't know, some are.
I would argue that many are.
We've lived very different lives. Our priorities are different. He does not see things the way I do. There isn't much more to say.
Oh, there is clearly more to uncover here. I shall return to the matter when I have the fuel that is required to get the answer.
I have lent my voice to some discussions. I have tried to facilitate meetings.
I haven't
This
read
positive
the
support.
question. Oh. Shit.
Does that positive support include sending letters to those on the opposing side?
Detective Poirot, I'm not sure what you think I have done.
Monsieur, a letter has been found threatening the Major of what might happen if he does not act promptly, and now he has wound up dead.
You think my sending him a letter, warning him not to get involved, means I murdered him?
At this time, it is certainly reason for me to be suspicious.
I have been funding the strikes, Detective. These men deserve fair treatment, and a wage that fits the hard work they undertake every single day. The Major didn't see that. All he cared about was the money for his services, and that is all I care to discuss.
It appears Monsieur's letter was at least written with noble intentions, but he is still hesitant to talk more on the Major's association.
If you would be so kind as to stay here, I may require your help further.
I am all yours, Detective.
Did you ever speak to the Major about how he treated Madame Fontaine-Bosch?
Why would I actively choose to speak to that wretched man?
A wretched man.
You were quite adamant of your protection of Madame. If he was as awful as you portrayed him to be, there must have been some words spoken, or perhaps written?
He was quite aware of how I felt towards him, and the lengths he has gone to remain close to the family. That is all that needs to be said.
I must admit, I would not want to be on the receiving end of your tongue's wrath, Countess.
Wise thinking, Detective.
I'm sure you have noticed Madame Fontaine-Bosch's absence.
I imagine she will have shed a tear for him, but she should not waste any more.
You don't think she would? Or you don't want her to?
I have made it quite clear what I think of that man, alive or dead. I would not want her to waste anything further on him.
I don't know who has a sharper tongue, Madame Fontaine-Bosch or the Comtesse. It is certainly a close race for first place. So, what of Madame Fontaine-Bosch and Monsieur da Silva's relationship?
What of it?
Do you believe there was something more to their friendship?
As I have said, Detective, I am not one to gossip.
I would not even consider your name and that word in the same sentence.
Because it is not gossip when it's the truth.
The truth. The truth. I'm not sure that is exactly correct, but the Countess has made a bold attempt to justify her wagging tongue. Wagging tongue? Is this something you say?
Why else do you think he would stay around for so long? Yes, he was a friend and partner to the Viscount, but it is plain to see it is Cassandra's partnership he longs for.
Okay, you have explained that the Major was trying to remain close to the family, but not why.
He was a disgusting leech that was driven only by money and power, like most men.
I can assure you not all men are concerned with such egotistical wealth.
That may be, but they are few and far between. I believe you are a special case, Detective Poirot.
It is not the first time I have been described in such a way.
Embrace the compliment, Detective. You have set yourself apart from the horrid crétins that seem to somehow make their way into positions of authority and power.
And that is what the Major was doing? Using Madame Fontaine-Bosch as his ladder to the top?
You are finally seeing the man he was. A weak and self-indulgent social climber.
Okay. The Countess has suddenly opened my eyes to the Major's true ambitions with the Fontaine-Bosch family. I wonder if Madame herself is aware of his greed and hunger for social recognition. Huh.
Merci, Countess. If I have any further questions, I shall be sure to come and find you.
Okay, so what do we have? Cassandra more than a friend to Ernesto. Major leached under Cassandra. Issues between the Major and Cassandra. Talk to Jackie. Okay. Why do I need to talk to Jackie? Gideon and Zach's quarrel. Okay. Major didn't approve of the marriage. Okay. Gideon wrote the letter. Okay. Gideon's deny his brother's drinking. Gideon hesitant to mention past with the Major. Talk to Zach. Okay. There's still something regarding the Major that he is withholding. Does Gideon have something to hide? Withholding? That's not every day you see two H following each other's. Wait a sec. Okay. Let's talk to Jackie.
You came to the right place. What do you need?
What do you know of the victim?
I know that he was not the good and honest man he liked to think he was.
Okay.
In what sense?
If you spoke to him for longer than 5 minutes, you'd know. I've met people in dark alleys I trust before him.
And on the occasions when you did speak with him, what was discussed?
I'm sorry, Poirot. If you're looking for a deep-seated secret between me and him, you're going to be disappointed.
Mademoiselle Conrad is wide to the nature of this question. She knows exactly what and what not to say. This net may be harder to crack than first expected. As you were previously speaking with him, I assume you know Monsieur Pickers as well, then.
That man has got some real anger issues. I get why he's frustrated. He's trying his best for the workers, but holding on to rage like that, something's gonna burst.
A man suppressing his anger and a murdered body. The most amateur detective could see a connection. You seem to know a great deal about everyone. What can you tell me about Monsieur da Silva and Madame Van den Bosch?
If you think you can use me as some sort of gossip machine, you are sorely mistaken.
I can assure you it is not a case of gossiping. At this point, everything may be relevant to my investigation.
So I would be helping you potentially solve a crime? You should have said that off the bat. To say he's smitten is an understatement. I reckon he's been wanting her for years.
Wait, what did you think we were doing here? A man has been murdered.
I see. Madame does not feel the same?
Doesn't look like it. If she did, she would have said something about it, right?
What are your thoughts on the Comtesse? I'd appreciate your opinion on her.
I don't know if you really would. She's got a mouth the size of Texas, except when it comes to truths about her. She wants everyone to think that she's the savior of these girls at the shelter. But there's a side to her I don't think anyone gets to see.
And what side is that?
Yeah, what is that?
One that she is keeping tucked away under her very expensive dress.
You can only see the work of a woman shut out as positive. Even if the reason to start came from a selfish place, the work they do cannot be scoffed at. Cannot be scoffed at. I don't know, what is she talking about?
You have been most helpful. I request you do not go too far. Merci.
Merci. I need to talk to Margot again? Wait. So we have Jackie doesn't trust the Major, Ernesto and Cassandra's friendship, Hugo's frustration, Jackie claims Margot is hiding something. Okay. Cassandra and Ernesto. That must be linked.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
Perhaps Ernesto had hidden his secret love. Well, we can use this to our advantage. Ernesto's love is a well-kept secret. Talk to Ernesto, okay.
I am all yours, detective.
Push on the Major's aggression towards Cassandra.
Countess, you gave me the impression the Major and the Madame were close, but there were times where he acted rather aggressively to her, n'est-ce pas?
I am sorry, detective, but I did not mean to give you such an impression.
I have already built a rapport with the Countess. Some may even say in a flirtatious manner. Perhaps if I continue to charm her, she will reveal the information I require. It is obviously I who am mistaken. A fine woman of your stature would not purposely lead a young man astray.
Ever the charmer, detective. I would talk more on it, but I'm afraid Cassandra would think I am talking about her behind her back.
Oh, the Countess has something more to say, but she still holds back. Something tells me it is more to do with receiving attention. Perhaps I can use that to my advantage. How would Madame Van den Bosch feel if she heard the contents of our conversation from me? You obviously care a great deal about Madame Van den Bosch. Assisting me will help clear her of any wrongdoing. That is what you want for her, isn't it? What? I'm not really sure. Coercive.
It is not often I am swayed so easily. I applaud you on your willingness and persistence. From day one, I was wary of his intentions. And it was not long before he showed his true colors. If it is a tear she sheds, it should be one of joy that he is out of her life.
I understand your feelings towards the Major, but perhaps there was...
He was a bully. He took his shortcomings out on her, and she sat there and accepted it. I never thought I would see the day. Perhaps now she will be able to see the man he truly was. Karma will always catch up to you.
Okay.
Merci, Countess. If I have any further questions, I shall be sure to come and find you.
The Major is abusive, confirmed. Okay. Well, that's linked to the Hugo's claims to
I
have
should
come
not be
down.
surprised by my own...
Hugo claims to have come down since his argument with the Major, but Jackie disputed this. Hugo lied about his temper. Talk to Zach and talk to Ernesto, okay.
More questions? I suppose so.
Apologies for the insistent question on the subject, but you and Madame Van den Bosch...
Mademoiselle Conrad was quick to talk of your hidden feelings towards her, perhaps only hidden to Madame Van den Bosch herself.
What has this got to do with the Major's death? Does Cassandra know you have spoken to others about this? I have only tried to help her.
I am merely asking the question. There is no reason to panic. It would really greatly help me if you would answer honestly.
There may be some feelings there, but Madame Van den Bosch does not know of them, and I trust that it will remain that way.
Okay.
Merci for your cooperation.
I'm an open book, Poirot.
What do you know of your brother's work with the Union?
If you want to know about Gideon's part in the Union, why don't you ask him?
So, You are aware of his support for them.
Yes, well, he...
Oui, monsieur?
It'd be best to just ask him.
Monsieur either does not know much of what his brother does, or he is protecting him rather coyly.
I think that is all for now. Merci for your time.
Ernesto cares for Cassandra, okay. Zach is defensive about Gideon, okay. I don't know.
No trouble at all. How can I help?
I'd like to talk more about your brother.
I believe there are more important matters at hand than talking about my brother and I's relationship, or lack thereof.
The murderer is in his house, and by holding back information that may help my investigation, you only make me suspicious of your involvement. Monsieur Demir, if you continue to withhold information, I can only assume you are hiding something, and must treat you as a prime suspect in the Major's murder.
I have nothing to hide. If you must know, we have not been on the best terms for years now. As I said, we are different people. He does not see the importance of planning for the future, and as much as my parents tried, they could not make him see that. I suppose that is why he sees me as their favorite.
He still believes that now?
I assume so. We barely talk anymore. I was hoping we would be able to sit down and talk and leave the past behind. But this evening has not panned out that way.
If you would be so kind as to stay here, I may require your help further.
Okay. Gideon feels detached from the carrier, and this is linked to Gideon. The carrier resents Gideon.
What a revelation!
The brothers are suspicious individually, but I cannot see them working together. Brothers are unlikely to cooperate. Okay. There's one more link. Ernesto has business connection with the family. This is linked to that. Ernesto's love is a well-kept secret.
Order and method.
No.
That is the way to solve...
Or maybe to the relationship?
I must take a different approach if...
Hugo is third. Ernesto cares deeply for Cassandra. Perhaps his anger has peaked. How deep does Ernesto's love go, I wonder? His true feelings have finally come to light. Those can't be related. I mean, it would be weird to have a link with her.
I cannot see the logic in...
No. What? Zach is defensive. Zach resents Gideon. Okay.
Magnifique.
Ernesto denies Cassandra is more than a friend. Wait, what?
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
He claims not to be close to his brother, but still seeks to withhold information about him. I had my own opinion of the Major, one that is wise I kept to myself, but I did not expect so many like-minded thinkers. I should think further on what I have heard in my quarters. Look to Archie, okay.
My time with the guests is complete, for tonight at least.
Do you know who killed Major Hagen?
I am afraid it is not as simple as that. There are many steps that lead to the truth. I must think on everything I have heard this evening and dissect the truths from the lies. Merci for your assistance this evening. Au revoir.
Au revoir. I came here expecting to solve a case of blackmail, to relieve a family of a burden that has weighed upon them and overshadowed a joyous celebration. Okay, I think we're gonna stop here. I've never been to an engagement celebration before. Well, I've never been to an engagement celebration where death has taken center stage before. Although the guests' alibis confirm each other's, I still cannot rule out the possibility of one of them being involved in the Major's death. The relationship between some of the guests and the Major were more than rocky. Dislikes towards him was plentiful, but enough to drive someone to murder? This is now the perfect opportunity to think about everything I have heard today. No. We're not gonna go do that right now. We're gonna stop for tonight. Okay. This game is weird, I have to say. I kind of like the mechanic of associating stuff, but the writing is not the best. It's a shame. But still, we're gonna get to the bottom of all that and see where this goes. But we're gonna do that tomorrow. So, in the meantime, please take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.